On October 7th, when the utterly barbaric acts committed by Hamas were made public by Hamas, we had no idea what they were going to do to those captives. I'm going to show you the cages they put the kids and the women in before and after they were raped. From the bad to the horrible. You know what these are? Any guesses?
Is that a air conditioning unit?
That's what I first thought. Those are cages that the IDF has recovered in the underground tunnels under Gaza City. This is where they put the women and babies, some of them that were captured from their bedrooms on October 7th. They kept them in animal cages underground. No air, very little food, no bathroom, very little water. These cages belong to Hamas, and they used the cages to transport their captives underground inside the cages. Unbelievable. It's unknown how many were put in there, but a number of witnesses have said 30 of them, mostly women, some girls, that they were kept in cages. They were taken out of the cages, raped, and then put back into the cages.
Oh, my goodness.
Doctors are now saying that they have tested these girls and women for pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases, but out of respect to the victims, they're not saying what the results of the tests are. But in the culture there, to impregnate a woman who was part of the enemy is the way that you subvert their culture by planting, as they said in the Bible, your seed there. And they do that intentionally, and then they lock them back up.
They've weaponized
barbarism, unbelievable barbarism.
Yeah, it really is. They've weaponized rape against humans. These are humans doing it to other humans. Or at least they have the appearance of being human, right? Hamas, they're beyond. I mean, they're monsters. They're demonic. I can't even imagine that. You know what, Barry? I can't even wrap my mind around it. With these young girls and probably even boys went through.
Not probably. It's been reported that boys have been raped as well. That's the truth.
It's the most disgusting thing ever. It is absolutely the most disgusting thing ever.
I have a question for you. If on October 8th, the day after the massacre and the kidnapping of a couple hundred Israelis out of their bedrooms, if the UN had called a special session of the General Assembly and everyone had stood up and said, release the hostages today, and the UN had done that every single day, would there still be hostages, you think? Or would Hamas have capitulated? Because the UN never did that. Never. And it's now February.
You know what, Barry? I think if the United Nations was telling them to release the hostages every single day, because Hamas are demonic monsters, I still don't think that they would release the hostages. They only care about the United Nations when the United Nations sides with them against Israel about removing Israel. They know that the anti-United Nations actually acknowledge Israel being a state. Was it 1947, 1948? 48. They recognize Israel as a state. And you hear a lot of these anti-Israeli people talking about Israel didn't exist until 1948. I mean, what a bunch of idiots. They would have had to have everything in place before 1948 to become a state. And to squash that whole stupid narrative, Israel has always been there and will always be there. But again, United Nations, the anti-Israeli United Nations, even if they came out, Barry, saying release the hostages every single day, Hamas still wouldn't have done it. They still wouldn't have done it. And right now, you have the United Nations, again, coming down on Israel. And part of the reason being why I don't think the United Nations was telling them to release the hostages is because they don't want them to release the hostages. They want as much pressure on Israel as possible. And they want Israel to look like the bad guys in all of this. And that's why they're allowing all the propaganda to run rampant. None of them come out and speak out against the propaganda. The whole point, they said, well, it was actually Israelis that did the whole massacre on October 7th. That's the most idiotic, stupid statement when you have video of Hamas actually doing it. How can the level of propaganda that's being pushed, and people are so easily manipulated, Barry, they don't even know it. I saw this video with this lady walking through the grocery store with a Palestinian flag, and she's putting stickers of Palestinian stickers all throughout the grocery store, just putting stickers up, sticker. And she's walking around, and it's a white woman, white liberal, of course, walking around with the scarf over her head and her face, and she got the Palestinian flag on her thing, and she's so happy that she's putting these stickers everywhere. Isn't that not vandalism? She should have been arrested. She should have been arrested. Yeah, she should have been arrested. But again, if you're liberal, you can break the law and nothing happens to you.
Well said.